Hello and welcome to the Miles and Goggles Show, the first official episode. I'm your host, Miles. I am the biggest Cavs fan you'll ever meet. And to my left, we got my co-host, Goggles. What's up, Gogglin?
What's up? I'm the biggest Rockets fan on this side of everywhere. I love the Rockets, especially Jalen Green.
Jalen Green, and despite him being... Well, yeah, hey, Şengün's amazing, but...
Also avid James Harden hater.
Yeah, despite him being a Rockets fan, James Harden hater. So in this first episode, we are going to go over our opinions on the Vegas win predictions. In this first part, we'll go over the Eastern Conference, because, I don't know, I felt like it was easier to do the East than the West.
Yeah, the West is like a war. So is the East
so
now,
is the
though.
East.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's just get right into it. First up, we've got the Atlanta Hawks. They're predicted at 46.5 games. Gogglin, what do you think?
I have them finishing slightly over that. I have them finishing at 48 and 34, just because they're such a good team and they have a really good bench, but also their starters are really good. And I think even though they have Trae Young in the backcourt, they have DeJounte to just lock up the other team's best guard. So I think that works perfectly.
Yeah, the Hawks are so interesting because, last season, I don't know, it was just weird. They made the playoffs, but they weren't in the picture for most of the season due to, injuries and defensive problems. It wasn't their offense because they were on fire. Every time I watch a Hawks home game, they would not miss a three. I mean, they're so good offensively, but adding DeJounte Murray, that's going to be huge, the defense alongside Trae Young. I think they're going to just finish at 46 games. But yeah, 46, 48. I don't think they'll do anything too crazy this season because I do have some questions about, the backup point guard position. I don't know.
That's true.
Aaron Holiday. But they could, stagger minutes, have, DeJounte play some backup point and all that.
Because they have Herter and Bogdanovic. Oh, wait,
no,
they don't have
Herter
Herter anymore.
Yeah.
He's on the Kings now, right?
Yeah.
Am I losing my mind? Yeah. But, they still have Bogdanovic, and they can just, flip him and DeJounte. And, they can put DeJounte in when Trae Young gets tired, when he's not bowing on the entire city of New York.
Yeah. Atlanta, we think they'll be... I don't know, in your rankings, we can talk about this later, but where do you have them, in the East? Do you have them as a play-in team, or what do you think?
I think they're going to be borderline play-in, maybe, 7 or 8. I don't think they're going to be, one of the top 5 powerhouses, though.
Yeah, because the top of the East it's pretty good.
The East as a whole, there's not many weak teams.
Yeah. Not a lot of teams like the West that are going to be in the Victor Wembanyama sweepstakes. So let's go on to the defending Eastern Conference champion Boston Celtics.
Ooh.
And Vegas has them at 55.5 wins, which I believe is the highest in the Eastern Conference.
It's the highest in the league, I think, because the Warriors are at 51, I think.
That might be the highest. The Celtics, the best team in the league. I'll start us off. I think the Celtics, after last season, one of the greatest midseason turnarounds in NBA history.
I got them on the over.
You got them on the over?
I got them on the over.
Wow.
I think they're gonna go 61-21.
Wow. See, the thing is, I think the Celtics are gonna be great again. They're probably in that tier 1 of teams in the East, maybe them and Milwaukee at the very top. But it's the East is so competitive. I don't know if any team in the East will win a ton of games. This past season, Miami was the 1 seed with 53 wins.
That's true. But Boston's also, they have Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum. That's a great front three. And then they have
Brogdon.
Horford, Williams, and then Brogdon off the bench.
We had the unfortunate news of Gallinari coming
out.
He's going to miss
true.
the season. That's a tough loss. But who knows? Maybe by the time this comes out, they'll have signed Carmelo. Because that is a rumor that the Celtics are linked to Melo.
Which, that gives you some scoring off the bench. If they do that, I think... I have them on the over. I think they're going to shock a lot of people.
Celtics are a really good team.
Yeah.
They're a really good team. I'm excited to see Robert Williams. My boldest prediction...
I think he could be Defensive Player of the Year. I really do.
I think he could be an all-star.
Oh, I think so too.
I think Robert Williams could be an all-star.
If they come in at just way better than every other team in the East, I think he could definitely be an all-star.
Yeah,
3 to 4 All-Stars on this team.
Yeah, another question is, it's like, the last half of last season, I mean, it was only like one half of a season and a playoff run to the finals. Is it real?
I think
it is real. I think it is real. But that is a question. I think the Celtics will be a great team.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And I think Jaylen Brown's going to take an even bigger step next year. And I think he's just going to be dominant. I think he could finish the season as the team's number one scorer.
That definitely could be possible. So let's move on to the Brooklyn Nets, the wild card in the Eastern Conference. They are such a weird team to predict. Vegas has them at 45.5 wins. Jackson, what do you think?
This was tough. I had them just barely under.
Okay.
And I know that's weird, but like they could very well shock everyone and go way over, but also like they have a great lineup. I just don't know how everyone's going to mesh.
The Nets are just so hard to predict because you never know what's going to happen off the court. I mean,
yeah.
You have Kyrie, Durant, Ben Simmons. Well, so this is my thinking. So 45.5 wins. They won 44 last year. And last season, I think we can both agree, it was a total disaster.
James Harden.
James Harden.
Idiot.
The whole Kyrie Irving vaccination situation, Durant getting injured, ending up in the play-in tournament, getting the 7th seed. It was a total disaster. And their absolute worst was 44 wins.
Yeah.
You add Ben Simmons to that, and plus the role players they acquired. They got Royce
T.J.
O'Neal,
Warren. Joe Harris is coming back. That's a sniper off the bench.
My thinking is, like, if we're just going based off the Vegas over and under, I think they should easily improve by at least 2 games.
I would think, like, I had my under just as, like, a bare minimum just because of how stacked the East is. Like, I feel like with all their problems, you never know. Plus, you never know what Ben Simmons is going to do. I mean, we haven't seen him play in over a year. So it's like, It's definitely weird.
And, of course, you had the whole Kevin Durant requesting a trade in the offseason, which was just 2.5 months of really nothingness.
Yeah, nothing happened.
Do you think anything is going to happen? I always have been of the opinion that nothing was ever going to happen in terms of a trade.
It depends on how this season goes. If they barely make the play-in or like last year, I think he's going to request another trade, and I think he's going to demand a trade. I think.
I don't know what team would.
Or Kyrie could.
Well, see, Kyrie's on the last year of his deal because that was another thing. Brooklyn, it's just. They're such a weird team because on paper, I might have them as the favorite if it wasn't for all the extra garbage that has happened over the last few years because every year it's been something.
Yeah, I mean, they have Ben Simmons at the 1, Kyrie 2, T.J. Warren, Kevin Durant, and Nick Claxton. That's not a bad lineup at all.
They have so many different ways they could go. They still have Seth Curry, Patty Mills.
And think about that bench unit. That's one of the better bench units in the East and also in the whole league, I think.
Who is their backup center? Because I've been trying to think. I know they have Claxton at the 1, but to this point they haven't re-signed Aldridge or Griffin or anything.
That's true. I think they might re-sign Aldridge. I think that'd be the smart move. I think.
I'm gonna quickly check their roster because I'm actually curious. Because I mean their backup 5. Because last year they had Drummond. Starting, but nothing crazy.
If I was them, I would have tried to keep Drummond. He could be a nice little piece off the bench. Just like to give you some okay defense, grab you some boards, because there's a lot of shooters on the bench. So you're going to need that guy who's going to, grab you a bunch of boards.
Yeah, and he's a solid passer for a big guy,
exactly.
too.
Well, when he's not trying to do something too flashy.
As a Cavs fan who's experienced Drummond, oh my gosh. But yeah, the only bigs on the Nets roster are Claxton and Day'Ron Sharp, the second-year center from UNC.
He could be a nice little piece off the bench.
He could, but it's like, for a team that's going to try to win a title, they'll need to get better at that position.
Yeah.
But Brooklyn...
Especially if they run into Philadelphia, they're done for, I think.
Yeah, because who's going to guard Joel Embiid?
I mean, Durant could try.
They can't do that. Ben Simmons.
that'd be something to behold.
That'd be a heck of a
Ben Simmons
twist.
Guarding Joel. That would be the matchup of the century.
Yeah. All right, let's go on to the Charlotte Hornets, who are projected at 36.5 wins. Really a quietly bad offseason for them, in my opinion.
Yeah.
They lost Miles Bridges for nothing, but due to stuff out of their control.
Screw that
obviously.
guy. Yeah.
They're just in a rough position. What do you think? They're at 36.5 wins.
I have them at under.
I have them way under, honestly.
I didn't have I thought I had them a lot lower, but now looking at it, I only have them 2.5 under, which I think it's gonna be less. I think, but I just feel like their defense is terrible.
This is my thought on the Hornets. They should tank this season.
Oh, for sure.
I think they should just tank it. The last 2 years they made the
play-in.
The play-in, probably lost both those games by like 30 each. And you get worse. You lose your leading scorer for nothing. Despite them having like a lot of solid scores, they had like 4 guys that averaged like over 18 points. But I wouldn't say that like a Terry Rozier or Gordon Hayward or a good co-star for LaMelo Ball. You had that with the defensive struggles.
Their defense, like just looking at their starters that I have at least in their 6-man, their defense is terrible.
It's not good.
LaMelo, you can't have Terry at the 2. I would put LaMelo at the 2 at least, just because he's a little bit bigger than Terry.
They did get Steve Clifford back, who was known for he fixed the Orlando Magic, made them a playoff team.
That's true,
because of the defense, but
they had Dwight Howard.
No. This was like the Vucevic,
Aaron
Gordon. Yeah,
Vucevic is terrible at defense. I hate Vucevic.
Well, he made it work. They made the playoffs solely off their defense for the.
And then they won one game, and everyone was losing their mind.
Yeah, they would just take game 1 against. But yeah, the Hornets. I think this season they should tank. They should try to trade that massive Gordon Hayward contract. $30 million for Gordon Hayward, who is a solid player and all that, but injury prone.
He's not in his prime anymore.
Yeah, he's just not the same player.
We miss Utah.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the Cavs' fault.
But yeah, the Hornets definitely a tanking team, and
they should go for Victor.
They should go for Victor they need that superstar to pair with LaMelo. So next, let's go to Chicago. Vegas has them at 43.5 wins. What do you think?
I have them slightly over at 45 and 36.
Okay. Yeah, I got them at like 43, a little under. I mean, nothing too crazy. I just with the Bulls and how they stack up in the Eastern Conference, I don't know like where to rank them. And if all the stuff that went well for them last season,
it's all depending on DeMar, I think.
Can DeMar DeRozan repeat that same season?
I definitely think he could.
I mean, he was unbelievable.
Yeah.
It was the best season of his career.
Yeah, and he's getting older, but still, I think he could definitely repeat it just because his game, even though he's getting old, his game doesn't, he doesn't play off his athleticism. He plays off of his craft ability, playing the game the right way, as all the old people would say.
Yeah. That mid-range game. Now, there was the tough news about Lonzo. He'll miss the beginning of the season. Did it say how long?
Not entirely sure. I think it just said beginning of the season, so that's kind of weird. But I mean, they still have Caruso, and Caruso, he can start and he's fine. He plays clamps. I love Caruso.
They signed Dragic.
That's true.
He can be insurance in the backcourt. I don't know where the Bulls will stack up in the East because we'll go to a bunch of other teams later. The Bulls, they might be 7th or 8th in the East.
I could see that. I could not playing though. I don't think DeMar will let them fall to play-in. And I mean, Zach LaVine is still I could see him scoring even more this year.
Zach LaVine,
which is crazy.
Definitely. And Vucevic has to have a bounce back here because last year
he's terrible.
He just wasn't efficient last year offensively for a big guy. He really struggled at the beginning of the season. He had a solid playoff series against Milwaukee, but nothing great for the former All-Star.
Yeah.
For an All-Star caliber big. But
sadly, not even the best Nicolo, who's a center in the league.
I don't know, sadly. The other guy's pretty good.
The other guy's kind of good. He's kind of good at basketball.
Kind of good. So, yeah, Chicago got them in that middle pack. Next up, we've got my Cleveland Cavaliers, who made quite the move last week acquiring Donovan Mitchell. Vegas, they had the Cavs at 42.5 wins.
And now they're at 46.
Now they're at 46.5 wins.
I'm going to let you go first.
Okay.
Mine's
Okay, I am going to go over.
How far over?
I think they could be 49 to 50 wins.
Oh, jeez.
What, you got them a lot higher?
I got them a lot higher.
How high do you have them?
59 and 23.
Holy moly.
I think, because Donovan Mitchell his teams have been known to play really well in the regular season.
Yeah,
that's something you got to remember.
I think this team has a better core than all those Jazz teams.
Well, yeah, I mean, you go from Mike Conley and, what's his name? Rudy. I hate Rudy so much.
Wait, why do you hate Rudy? What?
Because what does he do offensively other than grab boards? And defensively, he can't guard the perimeter.
I know that they had to trade the core because, well, I think that's also due. The Jazz had no perimeter defenders at all. They did a bad job building that. And
I think the Cavs do. I mean, the Cavs, like, Garland is not the best defender, but he's fine.
This is the thing. The question is, it's like, can the two small guards work?
I mean, think so.
Garland and Mitchell are both 6'1". You know, former Cavs Sexton, we tried to have that work the whole time. I think
it's
that
different with Donovan Mitchell.
I think that if there's any team that the small guards could work, it would be a team with twin towers like Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. I think it's going to work really well, and depending on who they start at the 3, I think that it'll be Isaac Okoro. Hopefully he can just improve his offense. I think it's definitely going to be Okoro.
And think about their bench is ridiculous.
You get Karis LeVert and Kevin Love off the bench.
Rubio
LeVert, when he comes back.
I mean, Chetty's fine.
He can get on fire.
He does his thing. Kevin Love, and who's their backup center?
They got Robin Lopez.
That's not a bad bench.
That's solid insurance.
Like LeVert and Love are giving you 30 combined at least a night. I think close to it.
We could get to we'll probably do awards predictions later on. LeVert is definitely one of the front runners for me for Sixth Man of the Year.
Yeah, but nobody's beating Jordan Poole.
That's right.
Jordan Poole's got that in clamps.
He might. That's tough. That is tough.
Depends on how many women go to the Warriors game. I love Jordan Poole.
Jordan Poole is the Warriors are still stacked too. But it's the Cavs and the Warriors, the only teams to have 3 All-Stars from last year.
And the Rockets still suck.
I mean, it's just great. We can move on, but last thing I'll say, the fact that the Cavs, they have 3 All-Stars and none of them are Evan Mobley, that is insane.
Yeah.
It's so surreal as a fan.
And imagine if Okoro takes the jump that everyone wants him to.
If he could just make
10, 12 points a night, that's all he's got to do.
All we need is, if he could be, a Bruce Brown for us, what Bruce Brown did for Brooklyn the last couple of years. Yeah, I think he could be great.
Yeah. And even you could, they could bring in LeVert at the 3. That would be a small lineup.
It's tough offensively, though, because all 3 of those guys need the ball. Garland, Mitchell, and LeVert, which is why I would think.
But Garland doesn't need the ball. Garland can...
They excel with the ball, though, you know?
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Detroit Pistons, the young bad boys over at the Motor City. They're projected at 28.5 games.
I have them one game, half a game over.
Okay, interesting.
29. I think this team is really not that bad. They're just young.
They're very young.
I mean, I think Cade's gonna be amazing. I love Jaden Ivey. I think he's the next John Morant.
Yeah,
I think he could win Rookie of the Year very easily.
Yeah.
I love Sadiq. Sadiq's awesome. I mean, Marvin Bagley, he's bound to break out at some point, right? He was showing glimpses of it last year.
I'm interested to see which bigs Detroit are going to want to go forward with, because they've got Bagley, Jalen Duren, and Isaiah Stewart is still there. He was shooting 3s in summer league and he was playing the 4. So I don't know. I'm curious to see who they are going to go forward with. I think that's what they want to figure out this season.
If they start Jalen Duren, I think Marvin Bagley could be a 6th Man of the Year. Dark horse too.
Yeah.
I very well could see that.
I have them under just because I feel like it's way too early with this core to win a bunch of games.
Yeah.
And it's some teams are going to have to lose games. That's just how it is.
That's why the Jazz and the Kings exist.
Well, in the West. In the West. In the East, teams like the Pistons and this next team are probably going to be at the bottom. So let's go to the next team. We got the Indiana Pacers, who are projected to win 24.5 games, which is the worst in the East.
I'm too nice for this. I have them at 27.
27?
I'm too nice.
There are going to be teams that are going to win just like 20, 22, 23 games.
But even like looking at their starting lineup, it's really not bad.
It's really solid. I'm a huge fan of Tyrese Halliburton.
I love Tyrese.
I still cannot believe Sacramento traded.
They fleeced.
I still cannot believe that happened.
Sacramento, it's just. I like Duarte and Keo. They got the snipers on the outside, and then Jalen Smith was playing very well at the end of the last season. Like he's not bad either.
Yeah, we'll see who they decide to trade because they have a lot of trade assets.
Yeah.
Like Miles Turner's been on the trade block for forever. You forget sometimes that he's on their roster.
Yeah, I think they should trade him maybe for like just one first or.
Well, I mean, there's
first.
the rumor that it's Turner and Hield for Westbrook.
I think that's a great trade for both sides because then you could just buy out Westbrook and tank for Victor.
Just tank because Hield would fit so well with LeBron.
Oh my gosh,
he's
perfectly.
the perfect fit for LeBron James.
Yeah, I mean, think about I guess not JR. I mean, JR was kind of that role. Kevin Love with LeBron. That's kind of what it would be like. Just that sniper who you can always rely on.
Yeah, he's never had like a crazy shooter. Well, that's not true. He's had the Kyle Korvers, the Ray Allens of the world, but no one like in their prime, like Buddy Hield, who can give you 20 a game.
Oh yeah, and Miles Turner for defense. You have AD and Miles Turner at the 4 and 5 on that team. That could be a top tier team.
But the Pacers, they have other things they got to figure out. They have a ton of bigs, not just bigs. They have a ton of young bigs. We already mentioned Turner. They have Daniel Tice, who they got from the Brogdon trade. They have Jalen Smith, Goga Bitadze, Isaiah Jackson. I mean, that's 5 bigs that all deserve minutes.
I like Benedict Mathurin. I think he's going to be a little underrated piece for that team.
Yeah, the rookie.
Moving forward.
Yeah, for sure. So Indiana, are they the worst team in the East?
Oh yeah,
you think they're the worst? Okay. So next up, we've got the Miami Heat.
Like I said, I'm too nice. I have them at the over. The over-under is 48.5.
Yeah.
I have them at 52 and 30.
So this is a weird thing with Miami. They have the exact same roster except PJ Tucker. I think that's a huge loss.
But they got Keith back. I mean, Keith is good.
No, they didn't. No, he went to Brooklyn. Actually, he's a backup big for them.
I guess I'm losing my marbles today.
Markieff Morris went to the Nets.
They don't have a power forward.
They don't have a power forward, and there's really not many people out there.
Who's their backup center?
Dwayne Dedmon.
You could start Dwayne and put Bam at the 4. You could maybe do that.
I think they're going to probably rely on Caleb Martin.
That's true.
To play at the 4, but
their bench is still
cut it.
Yeah, their bench is still really good though, and their starters. My hot take is that Victor Oladipo is going to come back to 2018.
Oladipo is going to. I think he's going to have a great year.
Yeah.
He might finish the year as the starter. I wouldn't be surprised if he started the year as a starter.
Well, yeah, who's going to over Hero? I think they like Hero off the bench. I think
they'll start. Well, they'll probably start it with Strus or Duncan.
That's
what
true.
They did in the playoffs.
Duncan could maybe play the 4 in the regular season.
No, he could not. Defense would be terrible.
That's why they got Bam though. I think Bam could win Defensive Player of the Year pretty easily.
The Heat,
I love
just
Bam.
Because of the power forward position, they really do concern me.
And I mean, Jimmy could even play the 4.
For a regular season, that's why I think in the regular season they may not be that great. Like when we talk about top of the East, you've got Milwaukee, Boston, Philadelphia, who we'll get to. Brooklyn is a wild card, and then Miami. Yeah. I think that, and since the Donovan Mitchell trade, I've always been like, where are the Cavs?
I think they're top
in there.
3.
They could be top 3.
Just judging by what I
regular season wise.
Playoffs, I think that's where they're gonna shine because D. Mitch loves the playoffs.
But I think the Cavs could definitely be a better team than the Miami Heat.
Oh, I think for sure they're gonna be a better team than the Miami Heat.
Which is just crazy.
Even if Victor goes back to 2018, Victor Oladipo.
I mean, you got Lowry, Oladipo, Butler, and Bam. That's a heck of a 4.
Hero off the bench.
I mean, they really got a nice team in Miami. It's just that power forward position.
Vincent?
Yes, they do have Gabe Vincent.
I like Gabe Vincent. He's okay.
Yeah. So Miami, it's really tough because of the power forward position.
Yeah. Heat should have been in the finals.
They'll still be good. Do you think they should? Well, I mean, it came down to the Jimmy Butler shot. And now Jimmy Butler's got that long hair.
The Gabe Vincent shot.
The Gabe Vincent
Or was that Gabe Vincent or Strus?
No, remember Jimmy in Game 7 that you pulled up for 3?
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. He had like his foot on the line. Like,
that's right. Max Strus was like out of bounds.
Yeah, it was Strus.
Yeah.
I can remember if it was Vincent or Strus.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, next up, we've got the Milwaukee Bucks, who are at 52.5 games.
Another over.
Yeah, I think
I don't think
53. I really don't have much to say about the Bucks.
Have I even said an under? Oh, I have 1, 2. I have 2 unders so far.
Huh.
Man, I'm too generous.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Milwaukee, there's just not too much to say about them. They're a fantastic team. They got the Greek Freak. I mean, they have the same team.
Yeah, the only thing you can say is Giannis.
But it's also like I don't think they are really going to care about the regular season as much. They really don't need to.
They're getting healthy Splash Mountain back.
Getting Brook Lopez back.
Exactly. Giroux puts on clamps. Grayson Allen, he's on the team?
Yeah. He'll probably start at the 2.
It's either him or Marjon, right? Because Marjon Beauchamp.
Rook.
I like him.
They won't start a rookie.
That's true, with how good they are. I mean, Grayson Allen's, I think, the perfect, little...
Got a shooter.
Yeah, exactly. Just a little shooter.
Milwaukee, who do you have winning the East and going to the finals?
Oh, Boston.
You have Boston? Okay.
Their team in the playoffs is going to be so good. Because Jaylen Brown is going to eat Grayson Allen alive.
Well, yeah, it could be a repeat of... this series was great. If we could get another best of 7 of the Bucks and Celtics, I think that would be fantastic, especially if Chris Middleton is healthy, unlike last year. I had them going to the finals if they were healthy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bucks, it's just the Bucks. They're pretty solid. Definitely one of the top teams in the East.
Oh.
Next up, we've got the New York Knicks at 39.5 wins.
Sorry, I was about to puke. They're so bad.
I definitely think they're under.
Over-under is 39.5. I have them at 33.
33. So they get Jalen Brunson, who's the guy they wanted to go after. They traded away Alec Burks and Nerlens Noel to clear up that cap space to get him, but they didn't get Donovan Mitchell. And Tom Thibodeau, I really dislike the Knicks offense. I get so annoyed watching them play because it's all just Julius Randle 1-on-1, just step back jumpers.
He's bad. I don't like Julius Randle. I don't think he's that good.
They're not. I think that most improved season, it was fantastic, but I think it was a fluke.
I think the best player on this team is RJ Barrett.
Yeah, me too.
I love RJ Barrett.
RJ Barrett could have definitely another big year.
And I like Mitchell Robinson as a defensive player.
Mitchell Robinson.
But they're just not good. They have a bunch of Jalen Brunson was the 2 or 3 on Dallas. He wasn't that number 1 that they're making him out to be. And RJ Barrett, I don't know if he can be a number 1 on a good team.
Brunson,
at least
Barrett, and Randall. They're just so they're so trapped.
Quentin Grimes could go off, but other than that, Julius Randle's not going to be as good. Oh, I just bumped the table.
Yeah. His shooting struggles. Their offense just really scares me. I think their defense will be fine because it's Thibodeau and he has good defenses. But the Knicks, it's the Knicks. Not much else to.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got the Orlando Magic.
Oh wait, no, this is my worst team in the East.
This is your worst team in the East?
I think so.
At 20, so they're 25
either them
and a
or
half.
It's going to be either them or Indiana.
So this is actually my boldest prediction. I think they could be in the play-in.
Okay.
I think they could be in the play-in because they have a ton of young talent with tons of defensive potential. With all of the young talent they have.
Oh my gosh, that's right. They're getting Jonathan Isaac back. Wait.
If he plays, because he never plays. But with all the young talent they have, they really don't have a good reason to tank for another high draft pick. They could focus on winning games and developing their young guys. Because you look at you have the starting 5. It's probably going to be Suggs, Anthony, Franz, Paolo Banchero, and Wendell Carter.
Oh, that's right. They have him. I have Mo Bamba on here. I totally forgot he existed.
Mo Bamba's off the bench. R.J. Hampton, Chumo, Kiki. You still have veterans like Gary Harris, who is injured, but guys like Terrence Ross.
Yeah, but they're going to play all these powerhouses.
They are, but There was a month-long stretch where they had the best defense in the NBA. It was from like right after the All-Star break, like end of February to end of March. They had the best defense in the NBA, including wins against the Raptors, the Timberwolves, and the Warriors.
I only heard one pretty good team in that.
The Raptors.
Well, I heard one.
From last year.
Yeah, I'm not sold on the Raps either yet. We're gonna get to that.
Oh yeah, we are gonna get to the Raps, but I really like this Magic team, and they get Paolo Banchero. We'll see how he is offensively because that is a question is Orlando's offense. But I didn't even mention they have Markelle Fultz. He could break out once again and become a good piece for them.
He's not gonna get as much PT though. That's the only problem.
That's the problem with all the young talent.
And all the young guards. But yeah, I
think the Magic could be a sleeper, but I also definitely understand them being one of the worst teams in the East because they are so young and inexperienced.
Yeah.
So next up we've got the Philadelphia 76ers with Jackson's favorite player, James Harden. What do you think about the Sixers?
I have them half a game on the over. I think this team is a lot better than they were last year. As much as I hate to admit it, I think James Harden's going to fit in well with this team. With the pick and roll with Joel Embiid, he's going to fit in well.
James Harden is due for a huge bounce back season. It's been 2-3 years since he's had that crazy scoring season. I don't even know if he'll ever get back.
All he needs to do, he needs to put up the numbers he was putting up in Brooklyn 2 years ago, 25 and 11.
Yeah, 25,
8 and 11, I guess, but 25 and 11 specifically. And then, Tobias Harris is good at the three.
You got Tyrese.
I love Tyrese Maxey.
And then, of course, you got Joel Embiid.
They have PJ Tucker, too.
PJ Tucker, they stole him from the Heat.
That's going to be their big, what if? Well, here's my thoughts. Here's what I typed 2 weeks ago. The Sixers will outperform their previous season if James Harden isn't toxic in the locker room.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate him. And if he works hard and plays for the team.
I think he will, though. I think during the summer, he took less money to allow depth pieces to be added to their roster. And, he's posting all these pictures and videos about him working out, getting ready for a, big season. I think he's due for it. Yeah. I think he's due for a huge season. And plus, Embiid, he has just been unbelievable. Back-to-back runner-up MVPs.
Not as good as Jokic, still.
He still is ridiculous. He's unbelievable. He's so good.
Flopper.
A question I do have for the Sixers is Matisse Thybulle. He's going to be on the last year of his rookie contract. Will the Sixers be willing to pay him?
Depends on what he wants.
I think he could want a decent amount. Well, with this current team, he's going to be a bench player.
I don't think he's really all that good.
He
brings little to nothing offensively.
His defense makes up for it. He's such a good defender.
Yeah, but
I'm just curious, if the Sixers aren't willing to pay him, we might see a trade with him.
I think that could be a good little trade. Maybe trade him to Indiana or something.
Yeah, to give Indiana a wing defender.
For the future.
Yeah, the Sixers will be good though. They're one of those teams. When you're ranking teams in the East, where do you put the Sixers?
Let's see. So I have Boston at 1, Cleveland at 2.
Oh wow, I didn't even give the Cavs at 2. That's kind of crazy.
Bucks at 3. Heat 4. Then Philly 5.
Philly 5, huh?
I could interchange 3, 4, and 5.
I think Philly could be 3, as high as 3, as low as 5 or 6.
Yeah.
I really like the Sixers. I think they'll be really good this year. It's crazy to think that they've had Joel Embiid for the last, I guess now 8 seasons, which is crazy to think about the process and all that already. But they haven't made it out of the second round yet. It's crazy. They have not made it past the second round.
And now they have their saving grace is James Harden in the playoffs.
James Harden's Rockets, man. Yeah, man. The Sixers, I think they'll be a very good team. James Harden, he's due for the bounce back. Embiid is due for another great season. We'll see how Tobias plays. And Maxey,
Tobias is a movie star, though. So
Yeah.
So is Matisse. So maybe Matisse makes that bounce.
So next we've got the Toronto Raptors at 44.5 wins. You said you weren't that.
I have
high
them
on that.
slightly on the under, but I'm gonna change that. I think they're gonna be I could see them not even making the play-in. Like
Not even making the play-in.
not
Okay.
like borderline. No, they'll make the play-in, but like as 9 or 10.
Interesting.
Just because
I can kind of see that, but Toronto. I mean, I've when they've been like playing in Canada and not over in wherever it was, Tampa, they've been one of the top teams in the East with similar core.
Yeah.
It's just my question is the style of playing like 7 guys all like 30 minutes
That's not
sustainable
gonna cut it.
for a
There's
full
no
regular
way.
season, or will they get worn out quickly?
Especially if one of those guys is pressures a GWAT. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, because the 7 guys, let's see, so they'll have Fred,
Gary, Scotty, Pascal, Precious,
well, they got OG,
OG
still.
Yeah,
They'll probably start Siakam at the 5.
I guess you're right. And then Precious off the bench. Who else?
Chris Boucher.
Malachi Flynn.
Yeah, if he plays backup guard. They re-signed Thaddeus Young. They got Otto Porter. So I guess they added some more depth.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the Raptors, if they get injured and they have to go to playing 6-7 guys a ton of minutes,
They're not going to be that good.
I feel like they're going to get worn out.
So they're either going to come like right under or barely over the over-under, or they're just going to be bad. Like they're going to be really bad.
Like last year, they were the 5th seed, which means, well, I can look at
But
the
that's also last year's East. This year's East is just ridiculous.
Were they? Let me see how close they were to the 4th seed, because I mean 5th seed. That sounds like they were fighting for home court, which is kind of crazy when you're looking at their 3 games behind the Sixers. I mean 48-34 last year for Toronto with this roster, because I mean they have the exact same roster.
Yeah, I think they're just the East is better. That's the main thing.
Yeah, something else I noted is I took a look at the Raptors' schedule. They have a really hard 11 games to start.
And that's demoralizing.
They've got the Cavs, the Nets, the Heat twice, the Sixers twice, the Hawks, then the Spurs, which is, an easy one.
Spurs, worst team in the league, I think.
Mavericks, Bulls twice.
That's a
through November 7th. That's a gauntlet to start off a season.
I'm not even going to go say what I was going to say about the Mavericks yet. That'll be for next time.
Yeah. But
That's
the Raptors, if they can survive that 11-game stretch, I think they'll actually be pretty good. But as you were saying, with how competitive the East is, will the Raptors be able to make it? I think they're in that like tier 3.
I mean, the
tier
problem is Pascal cannot be your best player if you want to compete, especially with the East right now. Like, think about it. Other teams have Giannis, Joel, even Donovan Mitchell, I think, is a tier above.
Pascal. Specifically looking at front courts.
I mean, the Cavs front court still. Mobley and Allen.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know if you can have Scotty and Siakam as your front
The only team I think they beat front court wise is the Heat. And maybe Boston.
That's even a maybe, because Bam is still...
Yeah, I'd have Pascal and Bam on the same level.
Yeah, but then I guess Scotty's good. Rookie of the year.
I do like Scotty.
Though I'm interested to see how he'll jump up.
If he does.
If he does, and like OG and Anunoby too. There have been rumors that they're looking to move him or whatever. But OG, I think, is very good.
If they're looking to move him, I think the Heat should pick up that phone. For him at the 4, that's not a bad little piece at the 4.
OG at the 4, yeah, and he could do everything
exactly
that they would need on.
And they don't need much scoring, they really don't, because Jimmy's not going to let them lose games.
We'll see if they get injured. Well, I guess last year Miami was the 1 seed and they got decimated by injuries.
Yeah.
But Heat and Raptors, the Raptors, I don't know. It's hard to predict the Raptors just because you don't know how they're going to play.
Yeah.
Rotation-wise. But final team in the East is the Washington Wizards, 35.5 wins.
I have them at 36. I think they're going to be a play-in team. I mean, the problem is that, I do like their lineup. I think they've built a nice little lineup over here. But like I said before, like Bradley Beal's not a number one on any championship team, I don't think, or even like a good playoff team. Like maybe a top 3 seed in the East in the regular season, but he's not going to be that number one in the playoffs.
Especially with this team, they're not going to be anywhere near top, like home court or anything like that.
Oh yeah, maybe home court in the play-in. Maybe if they go out and like all play well.
7 and 8. I mean, they started off really well last year. I remember they were like one of the best teams in the league last year.
And I mean, Bradley Beal didn't even have that good of a season. So if he can go back to that 30-plus points per game, they could be a nice little sneaky 7th or 8th seed.
And they got Porzingis. I feel like no one ever talks about Porzingis.
They got Monte, Bradley Beal, Kuzma. Rui could take that step up. Kristaps. They got Denny off the bench. I mean, it's a solid team, but nothing to like write home about, especially not in the East, because the East is just insane right now.
Yeah, I mean, the defense, I don't know about the Wizards.
Only KP is really even decent.
Oh, I keep hitting them. Okay.
I mean, Kuzma's okay at defense, not the best. He's kind of mid.
Washington's just they're
the Wizards.
They're always in the middle. Like they're
Even
always in the middle, no matter what. They're always in the middle.
Yeah, I mean they're gonna be fine. They're not gonna maybe surprise people, but not crazy surprise people.
I'm curious to see like the Wizards, like future draft picks, cause like
they didn't get anything for John Wall.
They got Johnny Davis, in the draft this year.
I mean.
Oh, did they give up a? Oh, they give up a pick to the Houston Rockets potentially. The Rockets might. So the Wizards actually. So
Rockets are
the Wizards
be
in 2023. It's lottery protected. So if it's 1 through 14, they keep it. But if it's 15 through 30, it'll go to the Rockets from the Russell Westbrook, John Wall trade. Yeah, they might look to lose some games to keep their pick because. I mean, Beal, Kuzma, Porzingis. I mean, you mentioned the lineup. All those guys are definitely solid. They're all starter caliber players. But this core, it's not going to jump them up to win a title or anything like that.
I mean, yeah, like, if they tank all the way and they do somehow get Victor, I mean, you could put Porzingis at the 4. That's a nasty front court then. But, I mean, even if you get, like, picks 2, 3, 4, I mean, like, Scoot Henderson's a guy that everyone's high on, and they need a point guard, so. If they're that bad, if they want to tank, I would tank for one of those two guys. Because those are two potential studs. And to be paired up with Porzingis and Beal, that's nasty. Either one of those guys.
Yeah. So all in all, the Eastern Conference is looking really, really solid, especially with Godwin. I mean, you had so many overs, dude.
Over, under, over,
yeah,
under.
The East
over,
is really good,
over.
man.
I had a lot of overs, but those are also, a lot of them are interchangeable.
I mean, looking at power rankings and, like, the teams that might miss out, there are going to be some good teams. Like, in years past, you would have, like, the 38-win team that makes it or something like that, a team that's just not very good. I don't think there will be any teams in the East that make the playoffs that aren't a really solid team.
Yeah, at least the top 8 playoffs.
I mean,
Like,
just count off. We go through. You got Atlanta, you got Boston, Brooklyn, Chicago's solid, Cleveland, Miami, Milwaukee, Philly, Toronto. Those are 9 teams. I mean, because you take all the playoff teams from last year. Cleveland wasn't in the playoffs.
I think Toronto's the odd team out there.
Toronto could be the odd team out. And then, well, look, you got the Orlando Magic.
Okay.
That's my sneak team of the East. What is your sneak team of the East? Did you really have one?
I mean, I guess you could say Boston.
Yeah, just be really, really,
or,
really good.
Actually, the Cavs.
I guess the Cavs.
The Cavs.
Cavs. If the Cavs somehow win 60 games, that would be ridiculous.
I'd start watching games again.
Start watching.
Because I'm going to be depressingly watching Rockets games all year. Actually, the Rockets are going 74-8.
Yeah.
Alperen Şengün.
Right.
We'll pull up the numbers I had him scoring last year.
We'll get to the Rockets in the next episode.
Wait, to end it off, should we look over what our award predictions were for last year? Because I want to look that over really quick.
Okay, you can do yours.
Mine,
I don't think I ever
were
officially made
whack.
mine.
Well, I had a couple of meme ones.
Well, yeah, you had like Şengün for MVP, averaging like 50, 30, and 27.
Maybe I did that. Maybe.
Now we can show the viewers.
I don't even think I had him winning Rookie of the Year.
But you had him as MVP.
You can't win it all. Okay. Let's see. NBA predictions. No, that's not it. Wait, what's this? From 2019. NBA top 10 MVP candidates. Wait, let's look at this first.
2019.
2019-20 NBA season. I don't know. This is going to be controversial, isn't it?
2019. This is the year.
Oh,
Giannis
it's
won.
Controversial. Anthony Davis. Actually,
This is the year he requested a trade.
this is his first year with LA.
Oh,
I had him
the
averaging
first year in LA.
28.8, 12.5, 3 assists, 3 blocks. Okay, so I had him going stupid. Oh, James Harden at 2. Actually, I was really
Harden
close.
averaged like
36.8.
You had him averaging 37 points. I mean, the year before he averaged like 36.
No, I'm pretty sure this is what he averaged that year. Oh. Kyrie at 3.
With Brook, you just said all the guys on there.
35.3 points. Skip. Oh, dude, what was I on?
I don't know. That's funny.
Karl Anthony Towns. I can't. I had Giannis.
We'll get to Karl
I had
Anthony Towns
Giannis
later,
averaging
too.
23.
Because I think the T-Wolves could be really special.
Did I only get to 5? Oh, I only did the top 5. Man, that's bad.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Oh wait, this probably. Oh, this is. Wait. I think this is NBA records and awards prediction. Oh yeah, here it is. I had the Nets as the first seed, Bucks, Heat.
Was this last
Hawks,
year?
yeah.
Okay.
Celtics, Bulls, Sixers.
Wait, you had the
Knicks.
Sixers as the 8th seed?
No, 7th.
Holy
I had the
moly.
Knicks as the 8th seed. Freaking Knicks. Jazz is the 1. Wow, I'm a genius. Skip, Lakers.
The Jazz.
Golden State, Phoenix, Memphis, Trailblazers, Nuggets, and I had the Mavs at 8.
Yeah. Well.
NBA awards, Coach of the Year, Quinn Snyder.
And
Oh.
now he's out of the.
Oh.
Now they're just completely scrapped. But we'll get to the Jazz in the next
Wait,
episode.
most improved, Miles Bridges. I might be a genius. I mean, I still hate the guy now. That guy's an idiot.
I mean, he didn't win it, but
He should have.
they gave it to Ja because he evolved from being a star.
6 man, this guy let me down. I had Jordan Clarkson.
Oh yeah, back to back.
Rookie of the Year. Let's not talk about that.
Who should have?
Jalen Green.
Oh yeah, Jalen Green. I mean,
22
he's like the
points.
4th best rookie.
4.6 rebounds, 5.1 assists. Defensive Player of the Year, Giannis. I mean, that's always a fair guess.
I think Rudy won it this year.
I hate Rudy so much. Most valuable player. Wait. I have my actual one. My actual MVP was Giannis. Actually, my numbers were pretty close to what he had. But then my actual most valuable player, 37.8 points per game, 27.1 rebounds, 11.5 assists, 76% field goal.
Oh, that's
65% three.
That is terrible.
And I didn't have him winning Rookie of the Year. I'm not biased. It's okay. I'm not biased.
Well, we'll get to your Rockets in the next episode, but.
Oh wait, I also did the All NBA teams.
we can
Steph
get to-
Curry, Luka, LeBron, Kevin Durant, Giannis. Okay, it's not bad. Dame, James Harden. Oh, Dame. Oh, wait, that's right. Dame's playing this year again.
Dame is playing
Joel.
this year.
I had Jokic on the second team,
Jokic.
and then Trey, D-Book. Wait, I put Rudy on the third team. What was the matter with me?
Rudy might have gotten it.
I hate Rudy so much.
But I think that is it for the first episode. We got through all the East. Next episode we'll go through the Western Conference, which is definitely a little tougher than the East. So many good teams in the West, and also a lot of bad teams in the West.
Spurs, Kings, Jazz, just to name a few.
Rockets. But thank you so much for watching or listening to the first episode of the Miles and Goggles Show. We will be back soon with another episode where we'll go over the Western Conference.
Yay.
Goggin, you have any last things to say?
No, I liked our predictions. I think it's just gonna be a bloodbath.
It's gonna be so much fun to watch too.
It's just gonna be day after day, just there's gonna be at least one good game every day.
Yeah.
In the East, and same for the West, I think. It's gonna be interesting, but we'll see.
It'll be so much fun. Well, thank you so much for watching and listening. I'm Miles. That's Goggles. We'll catch you in the next one. Yep, catch you in the next one.